Hey, this is Dr. Drew, and I want to cover today some of my favorite supplements for good health as well as for fat burning and staying lean. First one I want to start with is centered around electrolytes, trace minerals, and hydration. Most people are dehydrated. Most people do not have enough trace minerals in their system. Magnesium is one of the most critical ones, and there's a formula I use that is essentially taken from the Great Salt Lake and has all the trace minerals in it, and you can add it to your water. And the reason this is cool is because it just helps you absorb your water better. It helps you crave it more. It gives you all the trace minerals and electrolytes that you're very likely deficient in. So we know magnesium is involved in over 300 pathways in the body. Most people are not getting enough of it. So that's one of the key things in this mineral formula. It also has trace amounts of potassium, calcium, chloride, and sodium. And this is a reminder not to avoid sodium or salt. It is a critical electrolyte. Most people know they need a little bit of it, but I still think there's that misconception out there that salt is bad for you, but you should add salt to the food you cook and eat. You should use trace mineral supplements to replace the electrolytes you lose when you sweat, because you lose a whole lot more than water when you sweat. And so that's why these formulas are so important. They also contain trace amounts of iodine and lithium, which are critical to stabilizing your thyroid and your mood. So trace minerals, I can't say enough good things about. Anyone that tends towards migraines or headaches should definitely look into this. Can't just hydrate yourself off water alone. If you're one of those people that drinks water and you feel like it just goes right through you, look into these trace minerals. Another really important and critical one is B vitamins. B vitamins help the cardiovascular system. They're great for energy production because they plug into the electron transport chain and the mitochondria, which are the cells in your body that create energy. B vitamins mostly you're going to get from fruits, vegetables, leafy greens, but there's one key B vitamin that you only really get from meat, and that's vitamin B12. So that's why I'm a big proponent of high quality meats and proteins several times per week, especially for my female patients that tend towards low iron. I like people to consume 3 to 4 servings of red meat a week. This gives you your iron, and this gives you your B12. B12 is critical for mood stabilization, red blood cell creation, energy, nerve health. It just goes on and on. So you don't want to go deficient in B vitamins if you want to support your cardiovascular and energy systems. Digestive enzymes is another big one. If you want a supplement in your medicine cabinet or when you're on the road, this is a critical one to consider because it helps your digestive system. So there's 3 main systems when it comes down to breaking down our food, absorbing it, and getting it to your cells. It's not just what you eat, it's what you absorb. You can have the best diet in the world, but if it's not getting through the gut lining to your bloodstream and ultimately the cells of your body that need that nutrition, we have a problem. So digestive enzymes will help your stomach acid production. It'll help the pancreas release bile, supportive lipases, pancreatic enzymes that break down your food. And then the liver gallbladder is what's responsible for creating and storing and releasing bile. That will also be supported. So it's those 3 main systems: your stomach acid, pancreatic enzymes, and then your liver gallbladder for the bile. They all merge together in the small intestine and help break down your food. So if this process is not happening efficiently, maybe you have a liver gallbladder removal, maybe you're eating too quickly and not chewing your food, or you're always in a stress state, your digestive enzyme capacity will be lower. So if you take digestive enzymes with your food, it supports those 3 systems. Now you can break down your food, absorb the nutrients, and get them to the cell where you need them most. So I do like people to have digestive enzymes on hand. That is probably one of the top 5 to 10 supplements that I think most people will benefit from, especially if you've had a gallbladder removal, because that kind of leads into my next thing with respect to bile. Bile is your fat fighting friend. It helps you break down and emulsify your fats, but it can take cells that are fat storing and turn them into fat burning. So that's where bile can really help and work on your side. But if you have a sluggish liver gallbladder or you have a gallbladder removal, you're gonna be in trouble, okay? So digestive enzymes are really important. Supporting those systems naturally by taking time to eat, slow down and chew, take bitters, whether it's bitter greens, bitter tinctures, black coffee. That can help stimulate digestive enzyme secretions, but using the capsule form is a great one too. Another key supplement to consider is adrenal support. We live in a pretty stressful time at a pretty stressful pace. This impacts your body. There's no question. As long as you're alive, you're going to have to deal with stress. And stress shows up in the form of cortisol, epinephrine, norepinephrine. And there's some wonderful herbs that are grown in some pretty harsh places throughout the world that are extremely resilient. And those resilient herbs can then pass that characteristic onto you. So for example, your ginsengs, your ashwagandha, your rhodiola, they're grown in really harsh climates. And they can help you be more resilient to harsh climates as well. So ashwagandha is great because it supports the suppression and balancing of cortisol. This in turn helps your thyroid, and your thyroid is really the centerpiece of your metabolism, which helps you burn fat. So if you keep the cortisol under control, your thyroid's going to work better. Ashwagandha is a wonderful herb to help do that, so you can be in fat burning mode as opposed to fat storage mode. Rhodiola and ginseng will help you with your performance day to day, your focus, your workout potential will go up, your time to exhaustion will improve. These adrenal herbs are awesome. And it's all about timing, right? There's certain times you want to take ones that are a little more stimulating in the morning or pre-workout. And for those of you addicted to coffee, these can help you get away from that caffeine addiction. It's not that coffee's bad, but I find there's a specific dose for most people, and it's usually around a cup for most people, maybe 2. If you're going past that or you're addicted to caffeine, these adrenal herbs can help you get rid of that addiction. And then you take cortisol dampening ones at night, like the ashwagandha I mentioned, and this can really help your metabolism, your overall energy, and quality of life. Another one, big one to consider when it comes to supplements, is vitamin D and K2. So vitamin D, most people are pretty low in or flat out deficient. People don't get enough sun or sunlight on their chest and back to actually generate enough vitamin D. Even in the summer months, we don't suntan and take the time to expose our skin. So most people I test, especially in the northern parts of the world, are vitamin D deficient. And what happens is your fat burning will slow down because of that. So it helps mobilize and burn fat. It helps with your sex hormone production, such as testosterone, which again is another big one when it comes to burning fat and staying lean, because vitamin D is also seen as a prohormone. So vitamin D touches a lot of systems, your immune system, your heart, your bone health, your mental health. It is very important to test your levels and make sure you fix any deficiencies. This is super key. Get direct sunlight when possible. Avoid toxic sunscreens, because this prohormone has a direct impact on your metabolism, your fat burning, your mood, your mental health, and then your heart health. So the reason K2 is important is because it helps with calcium regulation. When you take lots of vitamin D, or you get lots of vitamin D in your system, your calcium levels in your blood need to be regulated, and vitamin K2 helps that. So it keeps the calcium out of your tendons and arteries and puts it into the bones and teeth. So when you're using and taking vitamin D3, make sure K2 is with it. It's really hard to get K2 from the diet because it's only high in things that people don't really eat, like goose liver and fermented soy and things like that, and certain cheeses. So hard one to get enough of, easy to supplement with. L-Carnitine is another great one for, workouts, fat burning. What it does is it helps move fatty acids to the mitochondria, and that's where they're burned for energy. Now, carnitine is mostly found in meats, because if you look at the word carne, that is another word for meat. And so carnitine comes from meats, helps shuttle fatty acids to the mitochondria to burn fat as energy. So utilizing that as a supplement can be helpful. I should mention that none of these are magic bullets. Proper sleep, proper workout, proper recovery, proper diet is all critical when it comes to getting lean and staying lean. These things are supplemental in that sense, so it's not a magic bullet, but 500 to 1,000 milligrams twice a day of L-Carnitine can be helpful in this scenario. And then another one I like to include is creatine. Creatine is mostly found, again, in high-quality meats. So vegans and vegetarians, it's really hard for them to get creatine. It's hard for them to get carnitine. It's hard for them to get B12. So you see what can happen to your fat-burning potential if you're not eating high-quality proteins and building muscle. It makes it a whole lot harder. So high-quality protein several times a week to get the creatine in you. This helps build muscle. This helps you recover. This helps get water and nutrients into the tissues that you've broken down during workouts. So creatine is awesome. And it's great for strength, right? You'll see like a 10 to 15% increase in your strength just by using that on a regular basis. So also really good for brain health, because the neurons of the brain are pretty busy, like the muscle cells. So it actually goes all over and helps in a lot of ways, okay? What's more is when you can recover and build muscle, this increases your basal metabolic rate, which is the amount of calories you just burn at rest each day. So getting lean and losing fat is great, but building muscle is even better in that scenario, because that'll help you get even leaner. Because the more muscle you have, the more calories you burn at rest, the more shock your body can absorb, and that will further facilitate the fat loss journey that you're on. So never shy away from getting strong and building muscle if you're trying to get lean. And you have to remember, if you lose 10 pounds of fat and put on 10 pounds of muscle, the scale doesn't change, but you've completely altered your metabolism for the better. And that is a really cool thing to remember in this scenario, okay? So if you have any questions on this, please drop a comment below. If you found this helpful, share it with someone that would benefit. And as always, thank you for watching.